Hello mates, bonjour. Let's do your notes for the 9th of October, Saturday. Let's start off with part A, vocabulary and sentence construction. Lunatic, a mentally ill or a mentally unstable person. A person who does dangerous and stupid things can also be labeled a lunatic. Is he mentally ill? No, maybe not, perhaps not, but he does dangerous and stupid things so often that you have to, or he gets labeled a lunatic. So we saw how lunatic comes. It comes from the word luna. L-U-N-A, Luna or Luna. Right, so eccentric, adjective, an act or behavior that is considered strange, odd or unusual. It's a bit like lunatic. It's a bit crazy, not completely, but a bit. So usually we saw eccentric people are people who are highly intelligent or who are extremely wealthy. They behave in an eccentric manner. Full moon, when the moon appears as a complete circle, the time of the full moon. So when you can see it fully, 100% circle, that's the full moon, or when the time that occurs. And new moon, or sometimes it's referred to as no moon, is when the moon appears as total blackness or total darkness. A time of the new moon, when the new moon appears as a thin crescent in the sky. So what's a crescent? So that shape is a crescent. So when that occurs, that's a new moon. Or in some places, and usually it's the pitch blackness, that's the new moon or the no moon. So let's look at a few examples. The moon exerts a gravitational force on all people and objects, especially on a full moon. The moon does what? It exerts a gravitational force on all people and objects, especially on a full moon. Please look at this sentence and try to construct sentences in a similar manner. So my sister is a rich eccentric and my sister is eccentrically rich. Let's look at these two sentences. Do they mean the same? Not really. They are similar, but they do not carry the same meaning. So my sister is a rich eccentric. This sentence confirms that she is rich and eccentric. However, this sentence, the second sentence, my sister is eccentrically rich, does not really confirm her as an eccentric. She might be, or she has so much money that she could turn eccentric. Yes, that is conveyed, but there is no confirmation. And the lunatics are running the asylum. So this sentence, you will hear it, or this phrase sort of will be, you will hear it a lot of times in your life because it's a very common phrase. It's a very common sentence. The lunatics are running the asylum. That means that logic and reasoning are no longer being followed, and idiotic and crazy, even lunatic suggestions are being enforced or are being applied, and that you can say is a reflection of the current situation. The lunatics are running the asylum. So lunatics are, the mental patients. Asylum is mental asylum, the place where they stay, the mental hospital or their treatment center is known as the asylum. Number 2, adjective, venomous, full of venom, producing venom, full of bitter feelings and hate. So his venomous feelings towards her show. He has so many or such venomous feelings towards her that they show on his face, in his voice, in his words, in his expressions, in his body language. They just show. They can be seen. He cannot hide them. They show. Harmless snakes have venom that isn't poisonous to us, whereas dangerous snakes can inject us with deadly poison. They can inject us like an injection or a syringe with deadly poison or with deadly venom. So all snakes do not produce venom. Some do, and not all venom is poisonous, or not all venom harms us. Moving on, number 3, a viscous, adjective, the quality of being thick and sticky, the quality of not flowing easily. Liquids that do not flow easily are labeled viscous. Kaput, adjective, informal. So I showed you how kaput comes, from which language it comes. Kaput, something that is broken, it's gone, it's destroyed, it cannot be used any longer. That is kaput. So let's look at the example. The higher the viscosity, the slower a liquid flows. So like we saw ketchup, some ketchups flowed pretty much like water, whereas the others took a long time to come out of the bottle, so they were highly viscous. And kaput, suppose you have a TV remote which isn't working anymore, you can say that it is kaput, or it has gone kaput. Right, so kaput and viscous. Right, let's move on to part B, grammar. The non-finite verb forms. So I made 2 separate videos about these verb forms. Please see the videos titled non-finite verb forms part 1 and part 2. I've included their link in the video description below, so kindly click on them and watch those videos. Right, so let's go on to the parts of speech. So lunacy is a noun. Lunatic is a person. It's a noun. Lunar, that's an adjective. Of the moon, related to the moon. So like I said, in other languages, luna, L-U-N-A, means the moon. And in English, lunar, L-U-N-A-R, means related to the moon or of the moon. It's an adjective. Alright, number 4, loony. Again, comes from lunar. So loony, loony, noun and adjective. He is a loony. He is loony. So, but these are all informal nouns. Kindly do not use them in formal conversations, and they can be offensive. Oftentimes they are considered rude and offensive. If you're in a casual conversation with your friend, you may call him or her a loony. That is alright, but please do not call anyone else, strangers, your elders or your employers or your colleagues, loonies. Do not label them as loonies. These can be rude, offensive words. Right, so number 5, again we have loony bin. A mental asylum, a mental hospital, a place where lunatics or the mentally unstable or the mentally ill person or people live. It is a loony bin. Again, it is rude and offensive. Kindly do not use it in any formal conversations. Eccentricity is a noun. Eccentric is the adjective. Eccentrically is the adverb. And a person who behaves eccentrically is an eccentric. So that's the noun. So eccentric, adjective. Eccentric, noun. Eccentricity is the thing or the state. Alright, number 8, venom, venomous and venomously. Nothing difficult with, nothing difficult to understand. And number 9, viscosity and viscous. So all liquids have viscosities, and those that have higher viscosities are highly viscous. They do not flow easily. And number 10, you have glue and gluey. You know what glue is, and something that is sticky is gluey. That's an adjective. So let's go on to pronunciation, part D. Number 1, lunacy. Number 2, lunatic. Number 3, viscous. Number 4, viscosity. Not viscosity or something like that. Viscosity. Keep it crisp and nice. And number 5, kaput or kaput. So this is not really an English word. It's pretty much copied and pasted. So kaput. Some people will say kaput. Some people will say kaput. Both are correct. So that's all for today's notes. Do write your notes down and watch the other videos that I'm putting up. A lot of grammar videos. Even if you do know the subject, kindly just watch those videos. It does not take much time at all. Have a good time and see you in the next one. Bye bye. Adios.